6 on Eyewitness News. Here's really just an unbelievable story. This Central Florida man was sent to prison twice for the same crime, and now he's hoping for another chance at freedom.
Yeah, the case is bizarre. It involves mandatory sentences, changes in the law, court battles, and a family's plea for clemency. Channel 9's Jeff Deal went behind prison walls to investigate this story.
The look of horror and pain on their face is something that will never go away.
Behind bars in his prison blues, Robert Woodall is the first to admit he's to blame for the events that have torn his family up for the past decade and a half.
Christmas Eve, 2004, I made the worst mistake of my life.
His wife Stephanie and their 2 boys, Robbie and Lance, who was just an infant then, were out of state. The then 23-year-old went downtown with friends for drinks. They got into a scuffle in a parking garage elevator with another group of guys. After security broke it up, both groups ended up at the same apartment complex. The beef picked up. Rob had a gun. He smashed one man in the face, then said he tried to end the fight.
I didn't think that me firing 2 warning shots in the ground that somebody would get hit.
But they did. A bullet ricocheted off the ground and struck another man in the ankle. Rob, who had no prior record, was arrested and later convicted.
After I heard about the situation, I'm like, oh, because I'm from Texas, I'm like, oh, he'll probably get 3 years or something.
But because the crimes involved a firearm, he was sentenced to a minimum mandatory of 20 years. At least that was the law then.
When he was incarcerated for so long, we were just in shock.
And realized that it was my fault, that I'm the one who caused them to have this pain.
The family scraped by. There were visits in prison. Rob said he changed his life. Years later, after the laws changed, getting rid of Florida's 10-20 life law, giving judges more discretion on sentences, Rob got another day in court. He told the judge what happened that night and about the changes he made in his life.
He looked at me and said, Mr. Woodall, I believe you. And he said, I'm going to sentence you to 11 years time served.
As soon as he came out of there and the car ride home, he was hugging them and telling them that he would never go back.
The family bought a house. Rob opened a lawn care business. He steered clear of trouble and spent time with his boys. There was church and sporting events.
He was home for a year and showed what he would basically do if he was released.
Truly, Jeff, it was the greatest time of my life.
But then the unexpected happened. Then Attorney General Pam Bondi's office got involved and challenged the new sentence, and the appeal was successful.
The first thing I thought really wasn't about me going back to prison. It was, how do I tell Steph and the boys? How do I break their heart again?
After 18 months of freedom, in 2017, Robert Woodall broke the promise he'd made to Robbie and Lance and went back behind bars to serve the rest of a mandatory sentence for a law that's no longer on the books. Another 9 years. It's time that's ticking by slowly as he misses seeing his boys grow up and his family struggles to make ends meet without him. Jeff Deal, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Well, he and his family are now working to petition the state for clemency and looking at a federal appeal. They're hoping that someone, perhaps the governor, will see his case and get involved.
Yeah, I saw that story earlier as we played it tonight. Difficult to watch the second time, too.
Pretty quiet out there in the tropics, but we're watching